So this is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Yo, what's up? It's Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Look, the National Black Radio Hall of Fame is what we are. That's what we is, all right? Welcome to the show, man. Hey, and I'm going to put it up in the corner, too, so that y'all know we ain't playing around with this, man. Come on, pop up. Where you at? Pop up. Pop up. Pop up. There it is. We're going to let y'all marinate on that for a minute, all right? What's up, Gina?
Woo, we NBHF.
Come on, man. Come on,
I like
man.
the sound of that. NBHF.
Come on, man. With them.
What's up, bro? What's up?
I'm chilling, man. Gotta do it, man. I gotta say this, man. Let me get Mo on here too.
Hey D Starks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey Mo, what's happening?
You see it,
So look, man.
Mo.
Appreciate you, D. It's coming for y'all too. Trust me. I'm gonna guide you. Watch what up. Check this out, though, man. Everybody at the beginning of each show, which I'm going to say it right now. What's up, Veronica? The views that are expressed
Arthur Riley.
The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living or its affiliates. We say this every single day.
Every day.
858 shows. We say this every single day.
We said it 858 times.
So, I mean, my thing is this. We have to, we're asking you guys to understand that this is a show. We have opinions. We say what we say. It's not law or anything that we say. Everything that we say is just entertainment value. Some of it's great, some of it's not great. Okay, we're not
entertainment purposes.
We're not perfect. All right, so
entertainment purposes.
Take it as it is. All right, take it as it is. We've been doing this for a minute. All right, and we try to express ourselves the best way that we can. We have some very, very, very intelligent people that are on the panel and diverse as far as occupations go. So. We just want to make sure that we're doing our job. All right. Look in the corner where Gina's at. We're doing our job. All right. But we're not going to hit everybody the right way. So for those that we don't, we hope that you understand what we're talking about, because we don't have a reason. We don't have a need to apologize. All we have to do is just make sure that we're expressing ourselves and keeping that disclaimer out there. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Having said that,
ain't nothing personal.
Having said that, man, welcome to the show, everybody. Tonight's guest, as Gina has put it here so eloquently, has an extensive background and life experiences with a unique perspective on personal growth. All right, family relationships and men's issues. All right, men's issues. His name is Dwight DeRamus. Is his name?
That's right. You got it right this time.
Dwight DeRamus Jr. and he's an author and he's president of his own company, CEO. It's called Trey Nickel Media. Man, we need to find out what that Trey Nickel Media is about. So everybody say what's up.
That is 3
and 5, right? Trey Nickel. All right. Everybody say what's up to Dwight. What's going on, Dwight?
Right?
What's happening, Arthur DeRamus?
Good. So it is, everything's on point now. See, we on time.
We on
Everything is
point. We on
Oh,
point.
That's good.
Welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for giving us time. Appreciate you.
Again, thanks for the invite. Love it, man. Love it.
Oh, no, man. You know, when the Distinguished Authors Guild had a virtual book fair in our hometown. Well, it's not our hometown. The town we all come from, Gary, Indiana. You were there, man. Humble brother, man. Exceptional brother, man. He has a book, Disappearing Dads. All right. I really need to know what that's about, okay? Because
that title alone, huh?
Yes. I kind of figure, but I could be wrong, okay? So before we get to the definition of disappearing dads, man, what made you want to write?
Wow. It's one of those things where you never thought that you would end up where you end up. My late grandmother, I took care of her last 5 years of her life.
Oh.
And within those last 5 years of her life, she asked him, she said, baby, why don't you write an autobiography? And I was like, well, Grandma, famous people usually write autobiographies. She said, no, baby, you got books in you. I didn't believe her at the time, but right near the time of her passing, I did release my first book. It's called A Slice of Truth. It's a poetry book. And I dedicated it to her because she's the one that planted the seed. And then since then, it just took off.
That's what's up, all right?
I remember that book. I have that book in my library.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it took off from that point. Did it take long for you to learn how to do it the right way? Not saying that wasn't the right way, but you know, everybody when they first doing something, they always stumble through it. All right,
man, that was my stumbling book right there. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
So, and not only that, I was in the poetry genre because during that time, the poetry slam was kind of like near the tail end. It was popular at the time in the mid 2000s up until about 2010. So I used to be part of that group, in the Chicagoland area. But I understand that poetry is like an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. So I had to make a pivot, and I wound up shifting over to nonfiction. And one reason I shifted over to nonfiction is because, one, I love research. I love looking up things. I love to double check, triple check. So whenever it's something that I'm talking about, I got to be able to back up what I say.
Yeah. That's the part that makes it a great effort on your part, because a lot of people look at people and they say, well, hey, he's saying all of this, even when you're not writing, he's saying all of this, all right, but they see something different, all right? Yours is genuine, Disappearing Dad. Let's get to it, Gina. We just got to get to it, because I think it's going to be a lot to be said about that. Just from hearing the title, Disappearing Dads, and I could be wrong, but it's because I haven't read the book. I apologize, but is it about missing fathers in your life?
Yes, and right, and this current book that I have out is actually the revised version. I wrote the original Disappearing Dads, and it came out December 1st of 2016. But it does, as far as answering your question, it's a book that is written from a Christian perspective that addresses the issue of fatherlessness in our homes, in our churches, and in our communities. One of the things that it provides consequences for how fatherlessness affects our boys and girls from the time that they were small up into their adult age. And it's a problem that it often goes unnoticed, it goes unreported, and it's even denied, but its impact is undeniable. It also gives tips on preventive measures to break the cycle for our future generations.
Which is
what
necessary.
made you choose Disappearing Dads? Was it some events in your life?
Good question.
Oh, excellent. No problem. Couple things. One, my father has been dead for almost 48 years. Died at the age of 24 of a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
young.
that, yeah, right. So, I have a mother a 23-year-old mother, a widow with two small boys, myself and my late little brother. And that sort of started with the impact in me, where I sort of got thrust as like the leader already. Who does that at 6 years old? So I was sort of put in that spot. I'm always, like the leadership, that type of thing. I'm always thrust to the front. So that's pretty much, start on my journey. And then also, as far as my upbringing, the first 18 years of my life, the first 6 years, I was born with two parents in the house. The next 6 years, I had a stepfather and a blended family. And then the final 6 years, up to the age of 18, I had a single parent. So I can speak on two parent. I can speak on blended family with single parent. With a step parent, and I can speak also on single parent. That's within the first 18 years of my life.
So let me ask you this question, bro.
Sure.
We have systems and stuff that's in place that actually, I think brothers use as a crutch, as being put behind the 8 ball. How do you feel about that? Instead of stepping up, we just get on the crutch and just step back.
No, man, we gotta be able to move forward, man, because you can't grow with crutches, man. It's hard for you to move forward.
That's true. It's true. You got to have that healing and going on,
Yeah. You gotta be able to move on, man. You gotta be able to move forward and move on.
So let me ask you: does this disappearing dad thing? Does this seem like an epidemic? Is it something that happens a lot more than not?
Oh man, it seems like ever since the 60s, man, it tailed down. And it hits in, if we're gonna stay in the context as far as race is concerned, when we talk about white, black, Hispanic, since the 60s, it's been the increase as far as percentages of families without fathers has been increasing. Unfortunately, we are, as far as black people, we are first in line when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And you're looking at roughly about over 70% of us. 70% of us, you got 50% of Hispanics, you got about close to 40% of our whites have fatherlessness in their homes. And it's been on the down tail since the 60s. Because we remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize, but the reason why I'm asking these questions, so racism and the destruction of the black family do you think that is a contribution?
It plays a factor. If you remember, one of my favorite actors, James Earl Jones. Okay, he was in that show called Claudine. Y'all remember that? Remember there was an episode where Claudine, played by Diane Carroll, and that was her boyfriend, and then the social worker came over. The man in the house rule, and she tried to hide him, but she eventually found him. See, that's how it was in the late 60s, early 70s.
That's
where,
true. That's so true.
Where the man is forced out. That's the system part that she's talking about. Right. That's part of it as well. Then you got, mass incarceration that contributes as well. It's just so many factors. It's one of those things where although we get right. And although we get hit the hardest, it still hit everyone else as well.
And it feels like it was designed to remove the male out the home, because I remember back then when the social workers would come in, look through the closet. You better not have men clothes in the closet or anything, any traces of a man in the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
But it sounded like it was designed to fail.
Well, it wasn't. I'm not going to call it a design. It was a planned hit. That's pretty much what it was, because they knew, one, us being together, we will achieve a whole lot with a 2-parent household. That's one. Two is that even when the whole segregation ended, which I believe personally, that was one of the worst things that we ever did, because when we had our own and we were around our own, instead of trying to mix in with everybody else, we were doing a lot better. A lot of what Dwight is saying, 100% is 100% true, man. Because even the mass incarceration, which was started by Joe Biden, you got black people voting for him in the last election. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about that famous crime bill in '94?
Oh yeah, all of that. Hey, look, Dwight. He got 3 of them up under his belt from starting back from like '87.
Yeah,
he
that's
has
true.
3 of them.
I forgot about that. You're right. You're right.
He has like
That's
3 of them
right.
up under his belt that he tried to come back and apologize with during his last campaign. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff we have to look at. But one more thing, I don't want to be long-winded. Not having a male in the household, like you said, is a crutch because you always had male role models. Like me, my mother and father got a divorce when I was in the 3rd grade. Me and my father still talked until he passed away in 2003. But I had uncles, I had cousins, I had even people on the street that was like, nah, you can't get in this trouble. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that in today's world. You know what I'm saying? We let them fend for themselves in today's world.
So with that, having said that, Chris, and I apologize, Dwight, but I want to ask a question.
No, it's good.
You've written this book, and you've even done a revised version of the book, which meant that you, in my opinion, that you dug even deeper into the situation. So the question I want to ask is, why do these people leave? Why do dads leave?
Oh man. Well, I have a chapter called Family Affair, which is the first chapter. I call it the 4 Ds. There's the 4 Ds that destroys the family. The first one, of course, is death, which is what happened to me. As I stated earlier, my father passed at 24, but almost 48 years ago. Death is one of the things that can destroy the family. The next thing I also have is divorce. Okay, divorce can cause trauma to, especially if there's children involved, it can cause trauma and they can affect them as far as in their future relationships. They can be like gun shy as far as they're like, well, you know, my mother, father, they didn't commit, and I don't know if I'm going to commit because it's what they saw, you know, and it's sort of like, you know, it makes the commitment very difficult. They would rather like live with someone than actually be putting a ring on it and to be committed to someone, if you know what I mean. And then the next one, the 3rd D is called detachment, where I think this is one of the worst kind of fathers, where it's like a vacant house. The house is there, but nobody's home. The father's there, but nobody's home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, you know, well, let your mother do it. And he's not active and he's passive and he's weak. Not hands-on. He's hands off. He let mom do everything. And she looking at him like, aren't you supposed to step up? And he's not, instead of stepping up, he's stepping back, which is the worst thing you can do. And then the last D is desertion, where he just leaves. He's frustrated, whether it's job, whether it's drugs, whether it's other women, something just makes him just leave. And those are the 4 Ds that can destroy family.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. B.G. Howard says the design has always been to separate the family. A woman can get help as long as she doesn't have a man. That's why black women feel that they don't need a man. It's by design.
Damn.
But what we have to really put in perspective is, and you know, everybody that's on here is of the same culture, and we have to really take in consideration that it's more of the others that's on welfare than us that's on welfare. People think that, oh, okay, you black, you on welfare, blah blah blah, but no, it's more Caucasians and whites on welfare than it is, you know, than it is us percentage wise. I mean, they have a bigger population than we have, but percentage wise, it's more than them than us.
Yeah,
you know,
actual numbers too. It's not that per capita deal. It's actual number of folks on welfare of other cultures than we are. And I don't know how that got put on us. I really don't.
Well,
and it's kind of
I mean,
sad.
you know, oh, go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to say, it's kind of sad that we have to, you know, when we have these conversations, that's when a lot of information comes out, as opposed to having that information that's already disseminated out there anyway. Real quick, Gina had a question.
Yes, Dwight, now you have disappearing dads. Have you thought about disappearing moms? Because I see a shift in a lot of the households where the father is taking care of the children and the mom is not there.
No, not necessarily. I mean, is that happening? Yes, because as a matter of fact, my barber is he's a single dad. He raised two girls, so that I can see. But it's the net of it is that it's by and large is more so fathers out there, by and large, and especially since for what I actually do for a living, I teach high school.
Okay.
I teach high school. I've been in education for over 25 years, and even when I first started teaching, I can see the downshift as far as the type of homes that our children come from.
Right.
Especially when we have access to their records and the Power School and that stuff, and when you look up the demographics and you look up information, who's always registered? You see mom in one spot. When you look where it says father, over 75% of the time it's blank. Over 75% of the time is blank.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you can add that on to birth certificates too. You can add that on the birth certificates too. It's a high number when it comes to mother and father's name that's on a birth certificate.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that's a real number, or do you think that moms are leaving the dads off even though they're in the home because, hey, I can't get free lunch, or I can't get this benefit because they're going to include the father?
Wow.
There might be some truth in that, and even if it is true, it's not a high percentage. As far as to answer your question. And then and here's the thing: when it comes to, and if I'm go back to the schools, which I talked about a little bit of schools and Impact the Community chapter. When you look at behaviors, okay, when you look at in-school suspensions, when you look at out-of-school suspensions, those behaviors starts from home. I've always said is a parent's report card is their child's behavior.
That's fact.
Wow.
That's a great perspective.
A parent's report card is their child's behavior. I've always said that.
It's a great perspective.
And it has never let me down. And one of the things, one of the roles I actually got a chance to do a few years ago, I used to be dean of students, so I was part of suspending kids or give in-school suspension, that type of stuff. And never ceased to amaze me when I called the parents into the office. And then I was wondering why is, let's just say, Johnny is acting this way. Then when I talk to the parent, I'm like, not saying in front of her, I'm like, oh, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's where it's coming from.
Yeah. I said, that's where it came from.
Yeah, but also too, Dwight, with you being a dean and superintendent, educator at that, a lot of it happens to it that the parents, even with two parents in the household, are too strict on the kids, and then they come to school to release because they're not able to do it inside of their house. Also, a lot of that happens too.
Yeah, there's evidence of that as well, and also there's also some evidence where they are so busy that social media is raising them, which is of course is the biggest problem. Which I talk about social media in the media influence chapter, where social media has a greater influence on our children today than their parents.
Yes. Not just the children, but even young adults.
Yeah.
I'm talking like in the 20s, those teens hitting 18 to somewhere around 25, maybe even later than that. They are influenced by social media, and maybe it's the upbringing because, we didn't have computers in the home like they have now. We didn't have that growing up.
But I think our influencers when we were growing up was TV. I mean, we got set in front of the TV, and that was a big influence. Depending on the shows you watch, you could tell who was influenced by what, and
yeah. That's true,
right. And now, of course, we got 1,000 channels, and then young kids can actually get access to websites they don't need to be going on. They get free access.
Yeah.
So, Dwight, your book touches on a lot of those things, such as social media, the fathers not being in the home and different makeups of the family. So your book has each chapter touches on something different in the what I want to put it in the world today.
Yeah, but that's true. Like, for example, I did talk about social media, but I didn't go deep into it. But like I said, I have a chapter called Media Influence. And the gist of the media influence is how the media has contributed to the fatherlessness. If you look at the shows that they showing, like for example, there was the Jeffersons, there was Family Matters, there was Cosby's, you know, just as an example, you don't see that anymore.
Right.
Well,
and those shows had both parents in the home.
Well, you see it. They have shows like that, but they're more
They're
on the.
dysfunctional, bro.
No, not really dysfunctional. Because if you go look at Michael Epps' show, you know what I'm saying, with him and Kim Fields, you know what I'm saying. It's a husband and wife situation.
It is kind of dysfunctional in that house, though.
But I mean, but that's any black, but that's any household. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have problems with it inside the house, but they try to do whatever they can do to keep the family together. You know what I'm saying? From having outside kids coming in, showing up, you know what I'm saying? From separating, coming back together, you know what I'm saying? But the real, one of the key things about what Dwight is saying and what Gina's asking is that when it comes to a dysfunctional household, it's basically a dysfunctional household today is basically stemmed off, like you said, Dwight, social media, because it's not even like Gina said, the 18 to 20s. You got the 38 to 40s, you got the 48 to 50s that's still trying to act like they're daughters. Instead of being the mom, they want to be the sister.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They want to party with the daughter. They want to do this with the daughter. And like I call social media our people that ran the streets back in the day that we looked up to, that got us out of that kept us out of trouble. You had people that you saw on the streets and they was like, no, little man, you can't run with us. You know what I'm saying? But social media today is more of, yo, do this, try this, make this, become famous, do this, try this, make, and it's just like a repeat. Like even my TikTok's on Japan. My TikTok's not on the US. I get everything that comes from Japan on my TikTok.
So, by the way, we're talking with Mr. Dwight DeRamus. He has this very, I want to call it a tutorial book. It's called Disappearing Dads.
It's a book.
Go ahead, Gina. Look at Gina.
It's a book.
I was actually trying to put it up here, but it started distorting.
Yeah, but I just want to say, and I want to go back to what you said earlier, bro. You said, you know, you came out with a revised edition. I would like for him to tell us the difference. And I actually have both editions and the poetry book. And so did my husband has it. Robert has it. My son-in-law has it. And both of my sons have it. So there's about 7 or 8 men in my family that has the first version. They don't have the new version, but they have the first version. But I would like for him to tell us the difference in these two.
Well, see, that's what I was saying. You dug back in, though, Dwight, right? You dug back into the
two,
and got more information. Go ahead.
Right, I had to, because I didn't want the original to seem like outdated, even though it's sort of slightly toward the head in that direction. I dug more. I added more information, and I tried to make it more timeless so that what's true in 2024, it'll be true in 2034, 2044, because I'm not revising anymore. This is it.
Okay.
Now, yeah, this is it. Now, one of the things I did add to it's a few things I add to it. One of the things I add to it, I did add social media. Social media was not in the first one. Okay. I added AI about what my feelings are with AI.
Did you add the belt?
Huh?
Did you add the belt?
Oh gosh. You know what?
He said, read the
I'm gonna
book.
get. I'm gonna get.
Part of me
I feel it
wants
coming.
to,
Come
but
on,
then,
come on,
be
come
like,
on.
you got
Hey,
them
look.
peoples,
No.
peoples out there, man. What they
Hey,
call them
look.
people?
He
Belt.
said, read the book.
DCFS, them peoples.
Hey,
Come
look.
on,
The
come
belt. The
on,
He said,
belt.
them
Dwight. I know you
people.
got it. I can feel it in your bones, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Now see.
Yeah,
Now see.
man.
But
Them
see,
peoples out there, man. They ain't playing.
we from the
Um,
ages. We from the ages of the switch, not just the belt.
Ooh,
Like the
Right,
switch.
right,
oh, don't say the
right.
switch. I
whatever she
remember
put
The
I,
her
I
switch,
hands
remember I had
the
to
on.
kick out my
broom,
own
the
switch, man, when I
shoe,
was about
whatever.
7.
Whatever she put her
Anything
hands
you
on,
can
the
get your hands on.
telephone, whatever.
That's right.
And I
But you
bet I
know what?
picked a
I do
little one.
know. I knew the difference in this book is a different look and feel of the first one. I haven't had a chance to read it just yet because I'm so engulfed in the event, Distinguished Authors Guild. But I'm going to save this for my flight to Hawaii. And this is going to be one of the books that I take with me and read. But there is definitely a different look and feel of the new book.
I have a
Yeah,
question
and
for Dwight
sure,
after
go
you
ahead.
finish answering Jen. If you finish answering Gina's question, is it anything that's in the new book that you took out of the old book, or did you just add on to it?
Um, most of it, I had to reorganize as far as the writing because when I revised it, I didn't realize that there were some mistakes in the original. And there were some things that should have been in one chapter. It was in the other chapter. So at first, it's like I don't see. Like I didn't really, you know how you read something, but you don't see it until you have to read it again. I said, what is this doing over here? You know, I had so many things in the Lost Boys chapter that should have been in the Impacted Community chapter.
Right.
So, and then I get headings on here, which keeps me in line. And it's like it keeps me on the sidelines on the football field, so I don't go out of bounds. So I get headings
That's
on
easy to
this.
do when writing a book.
Right. So I get headings on there where it keeps me focused, and then like the original did not have headings, so that's something new. I talked about one of the things I talked about was toxic masculinity, in which, and I put a question mark by it because there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's toxic people, and because toxic does not require gender, does not require race or religion or anything like that. But the media is pushing that out because of part of it, the Me Too movement, part of it, what happened in Hollywood. And anything happens in Hollywood is pushed across the culture. And then when you say a line over and over again, it becomes true.
Yeah.
Hey, let me read this real quick, guys. BG Howard says the point is we often don't need a handout, but a hand up. They won't allow it until the woman gets rid of the man. Never mind the others, because the government's going to do for them. Wow. We just want the ability to do for ourselves, and they make that more difficult than it has to be. Hey, let me ask you this, Dwight. So once everything is said and done, that father leaves. Say that father 15, 20 years down the line, he comes back. He tries to find that the family again, the son, the daughter. Is that him regretting his actions, or is that just something that he's trying to absolve himself from before he dies or something? You know, I mean, what do you think about that?
It could be a little bit of both. It could be a little bit of both. You know, maybe it's one of those. It's a lot of it is regret. Okay, and there's each individual cases that's a part of what happened. Why did he leave? Was he forced out? Okay, was she using the children as a pawn? Was he terrible? I mean, it's just so many different factors and everything. But one thing I can say though is when he's trying to come back, and the hardest thing for those who were affected by him leaving for whatever reason is the forgiveness piece. You got to be able to forgive, but you would never be forgiven unless you forgive. You got to be able to forgive. And it's easy to say and hard to do. There's got to be some sort of forgiveness there.
For real.
In spite of what happened and everything, It got to be a forgiveness piece.
How do you
And I
process
talked about that in the last chapter.
How do you process that though?
Man, it's one of those things where I look at it like this. Again, I don't know where each of your faith is. I don't know what your faith walk is or anything like that. But my faith walk says, in order to be forgiven, you got to be able to forgive.
That's true.
And
that's kind of hitting home for me right now.
Right. And when it's all said and done, we got to care about once we leave here, where we going.
Yeah. When it's all said and done.
When it's all said and done, because all of us, we got our own dates. We don't know what our dates are, but when it's all said and done, we got to be mindful of where we going, and we got to be forgiven. We got to be able to forgive to be forgiven.
I like the fact that you know, and as your bio says, you're looking at all of this through a Christian perspective.
Yes, sir.
You know, that just makes it.
But you have to, I think you have to, right? Dwight,
it makes it easier to digest, I think. Somebody coming at you real hard and say, yeah, man, that dude left, man, and he left because of this reason and that reason. I ain't like his ass anyway. I mean, if you're doing the book like that, you pushing too hard, I think. Okay, you're taking it through a step by step and saying this is how it happens from a Christian perspective, which I think, like I said, is more easier to accept.
Right. And this isn't an overnight thing. Obviously, time's going to be involved. And the last thing and I caution those, and this is if anyone that you all know that's in this position, okay, the last thing you want them to be, and those are the ones who got left or for whatever reason, a bad relationship with their father. You do not want them to be self-righteous, because it leads to self-righteousness. And have you not made a mistake yourself? Have you not done something wrong yourself? Really, you perfect yourself?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is something to think about.
Just once I did something wrong. Just once.
Yeah. That's what your mouth say anyway. That's what his mouth say.
Like, doesn't that
his mouth say that?
Doesn't that go back to the 4th D, detachment? I mean, I'm thinking about it from a child's perspective. They don't understand all of that, and they grow up not understanding. And I feel like that it leads to the child not having a bond with that parent.
Well,
yeah, it can lead to resentment, bitterness. I mean, it's just so many avenues, and that can take that to their future relationships, where they can take that resentment, that no bonded relationship, where they themselves, it's going to be hard for them to connect with someone because they weren't connected today. They weren't connected themselves.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna be detached themselves because that's what they saw. That's what they witnessed. That's what they experienced. That's part of their life experience.
So do you think some of that is by design, keeping us from doing what we need to do as families, as men in families?
It's tough for me to make that a blanket statement, only because the best way I can answer that is a case by case thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on the situation.
I mean,
go ahead.
Think about this. We've had a lot of examples of of stepping stones being put in front of us when we're doing good. You think about Rosewood, you think about Oklahoma, Memphis, and all these places that have been burnt up. And
right.
You got a child growing up and they hear about that history, and then the first thing, especially a male, he goes, "Look, I can't get ahead because I'm getting kicked every time." And this is the reason why. One of the reasons why. What do you say to a person like that, or a brother that's got that in their mental?
If you
don't have examples, they really don't have examples.
Yeah. If there's children involved, your number one thing is to fight for them, fight for the love of the children. If you saw your children somewhere as a man, you're responsible for them. You're accountable and responsible for them. You have to fight for them. Okay, and that tells about the character. That tells about the man's character, whether or not he fights for his family or he folds.
Interesting. I tell you all the time, I couldn't write no book, man. My book could be 7,000
could.
pages. It'd be 7,000 pages long, man. With all this, and it won't tell you nothing. It won't tell you a thing.
And you know what? Truth be told, everyone in here has a book in them.
I got it in me, but it ain't coming out.
Hey.
I'm just telling you, man. If you read my book, it's gonna have duh all through the page. You can flash the page. It's gonna be like duh, D-U-H, all the way through.
I got 2 questions. I got 2 questions for Dwight. The first question, with your book being from the perspective of a Christian, do you have like Bible quotes to basically like open up your chapters of what you're writing about, like something in the Bible that happened? That's the first. Yeah, to correspond with the chapters that you've written. And then the second question that I have for you, I forgot the second question, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you answer the first one.
All right, so okay, and it's good that Miss Gina, she has my book. Mm-hmm. In my introduction chapter, I talked about in Genesis 22. Okay, Genesis 22 is when Abraham was told by God to sacrifice his son Isaac.
Yep.
That's in Genesis 22. Now, I don't know if you all know this. Now this is the director of Sunday school teacher coming out of me now. Okay. Now, one of the things that in that chapter, there are 2 words that was introduced in the Bible for the first time. The first word is worship. The word worship was the first time because he said it went up to worship on Mount Moriah. Okay. The second word for the first time introduced in the Bible was the word love.
Wow.
And the word love was not given between a man and his wife. Right. The word love was not given between mother and child. Mm-hmm. The word love was given between father and son.
Yep.
Right.
That's in Genesis 22. Why is that important? Well, 2 things that crystallize it. If you see the cover of my book, there's a silhouette of a man and there's a silhouette of a son. That was done by design. Why? Because it's also a reflection of God the Father and his son. And that was the purpose of Genesis 22, is a prelude to Jesus' crucifixion on the cross, because Abraham was told to sacrifice Isaac, but then the angel told him to stay your hand, do not sacrifice him, because Isaac was not the promised sacrifice, Jesus was. And of course, Jesus eventually did.
Yep. And my second question, I remembered it now. In your book, do you like give solutions to help the problem that you're writing about in the chapter, or is it just giving
maybe?
Yeah.
In the book, yes, not in that particular chapter, but in the book, yes. There's my last chapter is called Final Remarks, and one of the things I said was it took over 60 years for this mess to happen, from the 60s until now. It's going to take even longer to try to restore it.
Right.
And one of the things that I mentioned was there are so many programs for girls. Nothing wrong with that. So many programs for girls. What about the boys?
We used to have them.
Yeah, bro. But where are they now? What about the boys?
They all
every single nation, every single neighborhood, every single nation. If you do not build up the boys, if you do not put resources in the boys, your neighborhood is going to fail.
Yeah,
your neighborhood's going to fail.
Well, I mean, we could take it a lot deeper. I don't know if we want to go that deep right now, but let us know where we can get your book from, Dwight.
Yeah, I was just going to say we got to get some time to tell us
I was about to go deep, but I don't want to go that deep right now, because if we go deep, this show might not make it.
Another 2-hour show.
Yeah, we might have another 2-hour show.
All right. Currently, it is now. Notice I say now. It is now available on Amazon. And my website is currently under construction, because it need to be updated. So it eventually will be on my website as well, which is treynickelmedia.com. But it's now available on Amazon. And check this out. It officially opened. I got it pushed to yesterday. Why did I pick October 21st? That was my dad's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I pushed it back because not only I'm an author, but I'm also a publisher as well. And that's why I got the Trey Nickel Media. So I've had a couple of clients in the past. My last client was in 2019, and I haven't taken on any clients since 2019. And COVID came and life came and all that stuff, and I haven't done anything since. But one of the advantages of being a publisher is I get connection to distribution. And with distribution, I can put any date I want to have my book released. And my book the book in print has been out since September the 13th. And then I was like, am I gonna have it out? And then I was thinking, I said, oh, October 21st, that's my dad's birthday. That's a perfect way because he is the reason why the title came about when he passed away. So that's why I chose the title and that date, October 21st. That was my dad's birthday.
So we actually we were thinking. I was thinking about absentee fathers in the household that are alive. Okay, and you just explained that too. The book is disappearing dads. They can die out as well, and then that leaves a void too.
Right, which is what happened to me. Yeah.
Darian says a lot of therapy for boys has been tied to playing and participating in organized sports. Unfortunately, that's changing too.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So what is Trey? What is Trey Nickel?
Oh boy, Trey Nickel's like it has it's like a double meaning. First of all, I bought the rights for that name when I was 35 years old. That's part of it. The Trey for the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, because I knew eventually I was going to be a Christian author. And of course, that's the Trey. And the 5, of course, is the hand of God. That's in the details.
Okay, see, we would never know unless we ask.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So so I found my niche after, even though the poetry has some religious overtone in it, but like I said earlier, I did not think that would be my fit for me. That was my stumbling book before I made the pivot, and then I found a home in nonfiction from a Christian perspective. That's my home. That's where I belong.
Doing your thing too, bro. Purvis says, if the young men today do not believe in the fairy tales of the Bible, similar to Christmas, how do you reach them in today's world? For they're not fooled like our elders do to knowledge and understanding. Do they need mentors, real mentors, and no imaginary images?
Wow.
That's a
I'm gonna leave it up there.
That's a thick question right there.
That's a double. That's a sword. That's a sword and a 357.
I know, especially calling the what's in the Bible fairy tales. It's a little powerful. Obviously, I disagree with that. It ain't a fairy tale. Mentoring. I talk about mentoring in the final chapter. That's why I said it has to start with the boys. And mentoring starts with men. When you spell mentoring, you cannot spell mentoring without men.
That's right.
So yes, mentoring. I talked about mentoring, and I talk about the foundation. Like I said, I do mentoring every summer through leadership program in the western suburbs. So I do that as far as my part, but it should be others as well. And then it's one of the things that I find kind of disturbing to me, and I didn't see it until someone told me, until I see my own eyes, is we got women mentoring boys. How can that be?
How can that happen?
They have mama at home. They need to see someone who look like them.
Yep, absolutely.
I know. Were you aware of that?
It is. But
I've never seen it, and look, I got this big old question mark right up here on top of my head. I'm like,
I got a thumb.
No, it's a lot of women nowadays that are mentoring boys. It's a
Right.
lot.
But is it?
Really.
But
I
does
haven't
that
seen it, but
really
that's kind of
work though?
crazy.
Y'all
And I
opening
want
up another can of worms before the end of the
That's
show.
another one. That's another one.
That's
We
a
only
whole
got
nother
11 minutes left. We're gonna be on another hour.
You know
But let
what?
me
I
go
agree
back
with you
because
about
I
that
was
can of worms. Let's keep a lid on that can of worms because
Ooh.
even I'm trying to do everything not to go there, so I'm not gonna go there because the one I
Hey,
respect
look,
you all.
no,
you and me both,
Man,
brother.
look,
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all.
we're gonna bring Dwight back so that we can open that
Yeah,
can right at the beginning, so we have enough time to talk about it.
yeah,
Okay.
man.
Darian says this crap we see on TikTok are fairy tales. If I see one more lie on Instagram, I'm going to scream. You live in this fat house with no family pictures, no appliances in the kitchen, no furniture, etc. And let me go back to Purvis's comment too, because I think he was metaphorically speaking about all of this. Okay, and I see where he's saying, do they need mentors, real mentors, and no imaginary images? A lot of people don't believe that the Bible, because not necessarily don't believe the Bible, but how can something that I can't see, that's not right here, tell me something, mentor me? I need somebody real here.
You opening up that can, G.
No, I ain't gonna
I'm not
open it
gonna
up.
open up the can, but I'm gonna give you an explanation.
You open it
This
up.
is my explanation.
Mo. We're not gonna talk about it because it's too late to open it up now.
No, I'm just gonna make a quick statement. In Sunday school, we were taught that the same relationship that we have with Jesus, or Jesus and God, is our picture of what our relationship should be with our sons. That's the same relationship. It should be that strong, and that's the way we were taught. That's where we were taught that relationship is the picture of what we should have as our sons. We put our sons down here. We have that relationship with our sons. It's going to be treacherous sometimes, but it's out of love. And in the end, you're gonna follow what I asked you to do.
Because
you
it's
know
gonna
what?
hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. Go
I
ahead.
saw that. I got a chance to see that comment. It says it starts with unconditional love. That is the love for our neighbor. Um, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, as far as getting back to the mentoring part, obviously, those who should be mentoring, one, it should be authentic and genuine and not fake. Because, like I said, I teach young people for a living, and they know fake when they see it.
Yeah,
right.
They know fake when they see it.
Yeah, and it's more of when you mentor somebody, you have to be a mentor from an unbiased opinion, not opinion, perspective. You have to be able to open. You have to be able to open up those gates to really back what you're trying to mentor, because
Right.
it's a lot of fake mentors out there. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
And it's a lot of mentors out there that's just doing it for a paycheck too.
Right. That's why I said that kids can see that. My thing is, they have to trust you, and you have to be transparent.
Yeah.
Those are the two main T's: trust and be transparent.
Yeah.
The
Because
trust you got them and transparent, then they can eliminate the fakeness and say, "Oh, this is genuine."
Yeah. Real quick before we get off, back to the women mentor situation. I had one of my teachers that was a female teacher, a woman teacher that was a mentor of mine, my 9th grade year in high school. And the first thing she told me, she was my very first class in high school, and she told me, her name is Miss Belinda Hawkins. She told me, two things. She said, do not waste the time today that's going to affect you your senior year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing she told me. She's like, that was one. And the other thing was that people are always going to remember you from the last thing that you've done. Not what you did before. They're going to remember you for the last thing that you've done. And I've took those two things with me my whole life. And those were one of the people that put me in the position that I am in right now.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying when I'm talking about, when I say that women mentoring boys, I'm talking about a whole room full of boys, and she's there as opposed to the men being there.
Yeah.
Now, different teachers, that's that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. I even refer to certain students with certain teachers because I know they got good relationships with them.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about you in a room with 40 young men.
And there's one mentor
That's
that's
what
yeah.
right.
I feel
That's what I'm talking about. They got that at home.
Yeah.
Man, we have to bring you back, Dwight. We got to come back because number one, fantastic book, Disappearing Dads. Okay, and then we started digging a little bit different. Okay, which I think is good because this is the stuff that needs to be talked about. We need to keep
and
it
we've never
open.
had this subject before. We've never
Mhm.
talked about this subject.
We need to keep it in the open. We need to keep the dialogue going. All right. So Dwight, I am inviting you to come back here, man, on a future date, man, and come back here and let's open that can up for real.
All right.
Want
Of
the
course,
worms.
right. Of course, like I said, Miss Gina knows how to get a hold of me. So
for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
We want to do that sooner than later. Okay. We like to keep it kind of close to it
hot.
because
Keep it hot.
You know, we don't want it to get stale. We want that conversation to stay up. So Gina said, let's set up another date to get them on. Okay, Chris, we got to get out of here, man. What you got?
Oh man, I mean, I enjoyed, even though I was 11 minutes late, I still enjoyed everything. And I'm gonna get your book, Dwight. I'm gonna get your book for sure. I want to check it out.
I appreciate it. And you know what, man? I appreciate each and every one of you because this has been fun for me. This has been very fun for me. And congratulations on the Hall of Fame too.
Thank you.
Thank
Man,
you.
congrats.
Thank
I
you.
saw that. I was like, yeah. All right. Congrats, y'all.
Thank
Man, that's
you.
big.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. There's a
Man,
lot
that's
more.
big. Congrats, man.
A lot
Congrats. I
more
love
coming,
it.
man. A lot more coming. We humbly accept all of these accolades, man. Seriously. We are not those people that's going to sit up here and toot our own horn, okay? Our work will speak for everything that we do. Most definitely.
Yes.
So, Dwight, is there anything you want to say before you leave?
No, I just want to say again, everyone, thank you. A couple of things. Again, if you have a poor relationship with your dad, living or dead, if he's dead, pray. Pray, ask for forgiveness. If he's living, find a way to restore and reconcile and learn how to forgive so that you can be forgiving yourself.
Great comment. Mo.
Man, sorry. My dad was my hero, and that's who taught me, about the relationship with God, and his son. And that was our template, as the way we're supposed to treat our sons. And like I said, Dwight, I love the concept. I love the book, and I'm gonna check it out too as well.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
We want everybody to go out there and get it, man. So go on Amazon, look up Disappearing Dads.
It's a good book.
Y'all got to go get it. Everybody got to go get it. We got to push it. All right. Go ahead, Gina.
Well, Dwight, I hope that Dwight and I have a long relationship. He was at the March Book Madness in the South Lake Mall when we had the 24 African-American authors out there. And we've had a good relationship ever since. But hopefully, Dwight, you will be at the Distinguished Authors Guild on November 10th. This is something that all authors should attend. You can get out there and network. You can meet a lot of authors who are doing different things. And here's where you can get the ticket.
Chicago in Northwest Indiana. Get ready for an epic night to remember. We are honoring the past and awarding the future. The Distinguished Authors Guild presents its 5th annual Literary Award Show and VIP Gala. Sunday, November 10th at Theater 47, 350 Victory Drive in Park Forest, Illinois. Proceeds from ticket sales go towards scholarships for first-year creative writing college students. This is a black tie event. Purchase your tickets now at eventbrite.com, keyword Distinguished Authors Guild. For more information, call 219-742-4305. That's 219-742-4305. And remember, everything that glitters is gold.
Yes.
I got a question though, Gina. That dude whoever did the talking, his voice was high. I mean, what do we sing for him? Is that Michael Jackson?
I was gonna ask once we got off live, who was that doing the voiceover?
That dude was like,
that is. He wasn't. He was inducted into the Black Radio Hall of Fame. You guys, that is Norris Thomas from 102.3.
I don't care.
Wow.
His voice high. It's not here. It's here. His voice high. I'm like, what, he got a pencil up his ass? But anyway,
70s DJs.
Don't hate, bro. Don't hate.
I'm not. Oh no, I'm not hating. I love my deep voice. Okay, I'm not hating. But I'm like, shout out to the brother. Good commercial. Good. I mean, look, back to the grill again. Okay, man. Look, Dwight is. I think and we all gonna get the book. We are gonna get the book. So, but I don't think the next time you coming on, we're gonna mention the book. But we got some other stuff to talk to you about. Okay, because this is something you really that
you know what? I do get one request before I forget. Whenever you decide to get it, and because you're gonna be on Amazon, write an honest review.
That's all we do. That's all we do.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Write an honest review. No, don't say, "Oh, give me 5 stars." No, just give me an honest review.
Hey, Dwight.
Trust the
right person right there in the middle. She gonna give you an honest review.
Oh, he got a review from me, an honest review.
But
I appreciate the fact that he was open to the feedback that I gave him. Not everyone was open, and so I don't give reviews unless I'm asked.
Right, and you got to be careful with that stuff.
Right.
Some people that don't know how to take constructive criticism. So
and you know what?
That's right.
Because
not everybody can take it.
That's true, and you told the whole truth because I saw it myself.
But from what
I want every author that puts out a book, I want it to be an award-winning book, and it to be an award-winning book, it has to be error-free. It has to keep the attention of the reader. There are certain books that you really loved and you continue to read because it was a great book.
It has to have a flow too. It has to have a flow. So you can't be here on one page, right, and be down there on the next page, and try to come back. It has to have a flow.
About Johnny in page 1, and then in page 101, you're talking about Johnny again, and I got to go back and find out who Johnny is.
So that's what I'm learning as I'm taking this filmmaking, this journey to filmmaking. You can't skip around like that, okay? So I mean, it's a beautiful thing. But Dwight, this home for you, man. You need us. We here. Come back because
I'm glad you back, Dwight.
you and Chris are gonna have a nice little conversation. I'm gonna sit back and chill. I'm gonna let you and Chris take this, all right? Because I got a feeling it's gonna go longer than an hour too.
Well, I had a disappearing dad, so I'm really interested in having another episode because I have a lot of questions.
But see, a disappearing dad, I'm learning he could be in the house and still be disappeared, gone, not there. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Okay, Dwight, you open up some catacombs, man. You open up you clean some cobwebs. All of them C words, man, is coming out of me right now.
you open up some Capricorns.
Give me crack corn. I don't care. Look.
That boy sick.
Gina, will you review my titles? I'm sorry. Woo.
Oh gosh. Arthur B.G. Howard, you already have an award-winning book.
I'm sorry, Dwight. You gotta admit, Dwight, when I popped it up there, it kind of
No, I saw that.
State of mind.
That's a little book business right there.
Let me get out of here, man. Look, Jeremy Gross, what's up, man? Darian Collins, Rachel. We keep missing the CEO of life, man, okay? Because these conversations are so great, man. But we're gonna get it in there, Rachel.
But that CEO of life is good information.
It is.
Very good information.
And her book, Forged in Steel, is it?
Forged in Steel.
Fire.
Forged in Fire. It's out now as well, man. So let's celebrate these authors.
That's another great book.
Let's continue to celebrate them. And look, man, spread the letters out, man, next time or something, okay?
Look, when I saw it, I was like, why? At first, I thought it was a female. I was like, why she gonna ask Gina and all these guys?
And y'all know I read everything. I read everything that come on the screen. So
Greg made it worse because he froze up on it.
Dude, because I'm looking, he put the S in parentheses, okay? And I didn't see the S in parentheses. I'm like, God, dog, really? Okay.
You did like this. I looked down, I said, oh, did I have to look again?
Dwight, we do this, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
Pray for him, Dwight. Pray for him.
Yes, please pray for me.
Look! Y'all in the Hall of Fame, so look. Oh, I don't know about all that, y'all.
Oh boy.
Y'all know what y'all doing. So
he said have my eyes checked.
Man, they coming for you, man.
All I can say is this is Dope Living TV Live. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. All right? Peace out.